Customer states engine runs quite rough. Yep, I would say that's a little bit rough. So as every sane mechanic, I starting diagnosing problem by disassembling the engine. But really, I will give you 3 clues or something like that, and guess what the problem is. So I was driving and suddenly the engine started make some kinda sorta clicking noise. It's as if you have a dry bearing and spin it, and it was like following the frequency of the engine. It only happened when I let off the gas or throttle or accelerator pedal. So I was immediately like, I stopped, I tried few things. So I pressed clutch, revved the engine, let it go down, and then it was like, so it's definitely not transition. So then I put the thing in neutral, did the same thing again, and so okay, it's not clutch. So I mean, what else rotates on the car? Engine. So it's the engine probably. I gave the car to mechanic to do the inspection, like the state like required inspection, and I told him, listen, this car has about 100,000 kilometers on it, nobody ever, and I bought it from AAA, so you know, it could be anywhere from like 100,000 to 300,000, but anyway. And so I told him, listen, nobody ever looked at the timing belt, please do it. And he was like, listen, I didn't have time, here's your car with the inspection. So I was like, okay, fuck you. But anyway, if I knew how easy it is to check the belt, not to replace it, that is a little bit more like involved, but at least check it, I would do it myself. But well, unless you try it, and the trying takes most time, so you know, because whatever can go wrong, and then you will have to like, oh man, I need to deal with this now and stuff like that. But anyway, now obviously I cannot just stop driving in the middle of nowhere and like tow the car, it's expensive as fuck, and the ticking was like doing nothing, it was just like weird. So I drove a little bit more, and suddenly cars go like, and so, okay, now what the fuck is this? This is clue number 2. The failure was absolutely sudden, and the power was like, I don't know, maybe 5 kilowatts. Like I had second gear selected, and I was driving like some like 5% incline, and the car almost did not do it. This is relatively rare flyby. So I got the car here, and I wanted to put it on something. The grass was quite tall, and so first I mowed the lawn a little bit, then I had to move it a little bit from there to here, because there is a huge bump, and I basically moved it by ratcheting straps. So one I fixed to the car, another to the tree, and it was very fun. Let me tell you, because there is a bump again, but I could use it at least to like raise the top of the car a little bit. So the third clue, I guess, so I checked the oil, and it was like, this car has pretty much no oil left. So I was like, that's interesting. I checked it like 2 months ago or something like that. So I mean, so far it could be really anything. I did not have a compression tester, unfortunately, so I did not check the compression. I could have checked the timing while the cams were on with the belt, but I did not do that. But because of the ticking sound, my first suspicion was like timing, of course, and so I was like, how do I check timing? So you basically get off the wheel and remove this plastic lining, and that was surprisingly easy. Then I had to remove the pulley from the crankshaft here. This is 18mm bolt. It was not easy, but fortunately I bought for completely unrelated reasons, like recently impact drivers, so I was able to remove it without turning the engine really at all. So that was nice. And then, like, what do you do? So you basically put some kind of ratcheting wrench or something like that here, and you basically turn the engine by hand. So I did that, and I was checking for some faults in the timing belt. So I was turning the shaft and came to this portion of timing belt, and I was like, is this really damaged? Like, what the fuck is this? And so I changed the angle a little bit, and I was like, yeah, that really is some kind of damage. But fortunately this was like close to my side, so I was able to see it. But otherwise the belt would probably look quite normal. So I mean, this kind of inspection from this side is not too great. It's better to remove the engine mount and look through the cover on the up. I was like, okay, timing belt is damaged, but like it's not that damaged. Like, and I was like, well, so let's look at this. And I was like, I don't know, man. Like, it's not great. Like, this is, I can't feel this with my hand, but it's not great. But this one I can definitely feel. This is quite a deep groove here. But otherwise this looks okay. Like, the cams look okay, everything looks okay here. I was surprised to see like rollers being actuated by these cams, so that's actually good. But like, there is no obvious damage on these. Apart from obviously like this thing, you can definitely feel this one by hand. But then I looked at YouTube, especially like this engine. I found some videos that they were rebuilding these engines, and I've seen worse than this. Then I was looking at these valves, but like, there is nothing you can see here because like they're loaded by heavy springs, and so like you can punch it with hammer and see if it moves. But I mean, height-wise, then they don't look stuck or anything like that, so they should not be bent. And I did punch it with hammer and it moves. Obviously with some like aluminium bar between the hammer and this, because you don't want to damage it. And still, you shouldn't probably do this. But anyway, back to diagnostics. So this engine and a lot of these modern engines are quite stupid, because you see, here is this this thingy that is also loaded by heavy spring, and this is backlash compensator / oil pump, and like this is, I guess it's I don't know, is it intake? Like, how does it even work? Yeah, this is probably intake, and this is output. It goes to here, and then it goes down, and then it goes here. I don't think you will be able to see this, but there are some 2 ports here, and there sits this valve in this hole. There is this valve, and it basically has 1 inlet and 2 outputs, and so this goes then through the casting to these 2 holes, and these 2 holes go then to the camshaft. I guess somehow, I guess this square opening is a hole as well. But Jesus fucking Christ, can you shut up? Apparently not. But this actuates the, like, some mechanism inside that can like change the timing of the valve. So I was like, okay, so is this okay? I cannot really test it, but this thing I have tested, it looks okay. So that probably wouldn't be it. And if it was bad, like the timing, I mean, it would affect the power of the engine, but not as much as being able to rev to 2000 at full throttle. Like, it would be probably sluggish or something like that, but then you will get into the zone where it pulls. So there's pretty much nothing to see here, I guess. Was I here when I was talking about the clues? Yeah, the fourth clue. The engine had no codes. So, like, if the timing was off, I would expect the sensors, because there are sensors of camshaft and on the crankshaft, so if there is difference, I would expect it to, like, hey, your timing seems a little bit off. Don't you find it suspicious? So obvious thing to check is the fuel injectors. I mean, not really obvious, because if the one injector was bad, let's say two injectors were bad, the engine would still run like normally. But this is really easy to check. At least you can see how in the conditions they are in. Basically put some pressurized air here at like 3 atmospheres, then actuate the thing by putting 12 volts onto it, and you will see if it is hissing or not, at least. And it's better to do with some kind of liquid, I guess gasoline, because like they are meant to handle that. I probably wouldn't put water in there. But yeah, these are okay. What actually would be obvious is if the gas pump was bad. So, but you can check this by like disconnecting the hose and like turning the engine on, I guess. Also, the video you saw on the start, there was this hose you see in this. It is connected to the crankcase, and it is supposed to vent the oil fumes into the intake. It's, in my opinion, it's the worst design ever. Please, like, fucking pass it over some hot, like, catalyst or something like that. But why intake? Like, I mean, you can't really see it, and it shouldn't really happen, but it probably does, because you see the oil is black. And why is it black? Because there is like carbonized shit in it, and basically what happens is you will get oil mixed with gasoline, and it goes over the valves, and I assume, I did not check, but the valves would look horribly like from the inside, and they should be clean. Like, why mix oil in there? I guess the idea was that, yeah, gasoline would clean it, but yeah, what I was talking about, the hose that you saw on the start of the video, when I played the video back, I did it just yesterday, but you could see some kind of, as if there was a stream of air coming from it, like quite strong stream of air. And this should not happen. If it happens, it's likely that the pistons do not seal. So I did a leak down test on the cylinders down there. Alright, so I guess let's do leak down test. So this is a little bit of acetone, and I will pour about same amount. Then of course I cleaned the cylinders, and I found maybe some damage of the valves. Okay, so I think I found the problem. Well, I have looked with borescope into the like cylinders, and I was like, I think I was looking at this one, yes, and I was like, well, this little area is a little bit shiny, but it's like, I'm not sure if it's actually damaged, but then I cleaned all the cylinders, and if you look here, yeah, this looks damaged. So the cylinders were probably quite attracted to the valves, and they did indeed kiss. There is still 0.1 millimeter clearance, so I think this would work, so I don't need really to check anything below this point. First of all, there are radial grooves from the machining probably, and I saw these grooves on the cylinders because you see they come there with end mill and they don't make radial grooves like this. So let's check it again. Yeah, I'm not sure how well you can see this, but there are definitely grooves impressed into the cylinders. Let me take some photos probably, that would be nicer. But still, the damage on this could be minimal, and it may not be worth replacing this. I mean, if I have the engine disassembled, it's probably worth, just by the fact that it is disassembled, but I will have to see if I can buy some tools to remove this and then replace the valve seals and stuff like that. The guy was right, don't do this outside because you will lose screws. Oh, it's this kind of seal. Why there is a metal seal where rubber would do? Like, it's not like this is getting to 500 degrees Celsius. Also, it's worth noting that the engine was leaking from valve cover, and also it was leaking oil into the cooling water because, I mean, if you can see, this is the oil port and this is the water cooling port, and there is like, I don't know, 3mm space between those two. So, genius design, absolutely wonderful. Why? Fucking hell, why? And maybe it sealed, or maybe it leaked oil also, like, from here, like outside. So, this engine was very oily. I mean, that could explain a little bit of missing oil from the engine. Now, this is outside, it is quite warm. Winds are fairly calm, but there is some evaporation, so I will do time-lapse, I guess, and I will look at this after, let's say, 15 minutes. Okay, let's cut this nonsense. It was just 10 minutes, but like, if there was something, I would have brown finger. Not black, just brown. And there absolutely is... there is nothing. So basically what happens there is the timing is controlled by hydraulics, or hydraulic kinda sorta cylinder, but not really. It's like a very primitive system that is controlled by proportional valve, and so it does not have to be perfectly sealed in order to work. And because of this, the crash of cylinder and the valve caused the timing pulley to like let go a little bit, which means that there is little to no damage. Okay, so now the valve is crashed into the cylinder and the cylinder goes down, the valve is still open, it like sucks in some fuel and air, and then it goes up, and then the valve closes in not like completely down position, but somewhere in the middle, let's say. Still, it should have enough power to like be good, unless the timing was like 180 degrees off, which the pulley would not be able to compensate for. It can compensate for some like, I don't know, 15 degrees or something like that, maybe 30. So the amount of compression would be low. I guess this could lead to inefficient ignition. I guess there could be some exponential curve that could cause like very, very little power with like let's say, I don't know, 4-to-1 ignition or something like that, not instead of 10-to-1. I don't know, man, this is way too complicated. So the bottom line is that the engine is good, and the only thing that was probably broken was the timing. Okay, so I will clean this thing, I will order new gasket, I will order new timing belt and put this thing together, and we'll see what happens, I guess. Okay, so everything, well, not everything, but most of the things are assembled that needs to be here. I did flush the engine with quite thick oil. Here is the bottle, and then the normal oil and new coolant, obviously. And so now, in the name of Satan, race from dead! Well, I lied, I obviously started this car before. Yeah, it started after like 5 seconds of purging the air from the injectors. After I started it first time, I had some issues. Well, one big issue, I guess. First of all, I forgot to install these plugs, so the oil was spraying from there. Also, this red thing is like not dry yet, so I don't know what's the deal there, but anyway, it seals. The biggest problem was, you may or may not see on the camshaft there is a seal to prevent oil spraying from there. When I basically installed the valve covers, I forgot to check if it is like in the correct position, because, and oh boy, that was insanely difficult to put it on. I basically, the way I did it is I wrapped a rope, this one, through there, and I was like pulling it, and it slowly like started to force the seal in. Then I switched to this one, which is a little bit more thicker, did this again, then I hammered shit out of it with like Allen key, and it's probably not in great condition right now, but hopefully the hole is in great condition. But anyway, oh my god, the installation, like I got a torque wrench from my neighbor, and the manual says like torque the head to 20 Newton meters, then 240 degrees. So first of all, what the fuck is 240 degrees? So I had to print this triangle to reference this. But anyway, so I torqued it. I was like click, click, click. But the thing is that the torque wrench was working like the minimum was like 40 something Newton meters, and so I did not notice, so I then started turning the bolts. I think I did like 60 plus 90 degrees, and that was about all I could give, so I probably over torqued the head a little bit, but yeah, whatever. Valve covers were torqued this to 8 Newton meters, then whatever. So I turned out 8, and I was like, okay, this is definitely not 8 Newton meters. So I had to get a ruler with spring and like measure how much I have to tension this spring at this like arm length to get the correct torque. And I did it that way. I mean, not that it matters too much, but yeah, you know. You would also expect some leftover bolts, but I got a few more things, like for example this thing. This thing was somewhere here in the engine, and it did hold absolutely nothing, so I mean, this is not going back. This complicated part I don't really remember, but I think it was mounted to this thermostat, and the only thing it was holding is this cable, and the thing is broken anyway, so I don't think I will be installing that part. This part I have already modified a little bit because the bolt was stuck. Yeah, so here is the remains of that cover. I also did cut a little bit into this sensor, but it works, so it's fine. So I'm happy that I saved some, I don't know, 3,000 or 2,000 euros on this car, so I don't have to buy another one. Even though there's still some work, like, look at this tire. Like, how did this happen? Anyway, see you next time, I guess.